Hello and welcome to Who It Could Have Been, where every single week we take a look at a famous actor who was up for a big role, but for one reason or another they didn't quite get it. Would they have been better, worse, or just plain weird?
Yeah, kind of like the time Demos auditioned to be Gosling in the live-action version of Darkwing Duck.
I don't think I'm that badass.
True. Facts. That's a great point.
Wait, no, you don't agree. When you say something like that, you don't agree. That makes you a weasel. No, and Gosling does not stand for
weasels. Hold up. Let's be clear. Like, me agreeing isn't a slight on you. Gosling is pretty badass. She comes out of left field and can...
I never thought I'd have to censor this much content around Gosling from Darkwing Duck, but okay. Anyway. Tonight's Who It Could Have Been is slightly different. And the fact that we'll be talking about an actor who was set up to replace a long-running character on a show. A very famous show. X-Files, starring David Duchovny and Gillian Anderson. Big sensation when it came out. David Duchovny was practically irreplaceable in that show. He was the heart of that show. He made you want to believe. Until he left. And then Fox wanted to find a replacement actor to make those beliefs continue. Famously, Robert Patrick, who many of you may remember as the T-1000 from Terminator 2, stepped in as Agent Doggett, and the show went on for another couple of seasons, but never quite recapturing the awe and glory that was David Duchovny. But instead of the T-1000, how would you have reacted if Ash Williams was the star of X-Files? Yes, I'm talking about Bruce Campbell.
The truth is out there.
Congratulations.
How do you say no to Bruce Campbell? And like, what, is Gillian Anderson going to say no? I know she wouldn't. Maybe my bias is overwhelming, but the first part I was kind of joking a bit because it's Bruce Campbell. But let's be honest. I really feel like having Agent Doggett, I would assume he would have retained the same name, kind of have that bright-eyed kind of BRISCO County approach to things. I think that vibe that he has as BRISCO fits nicely into what Doggett's character should be.
I'd even go farther than that, in that Jason Patrick, I thought, was awesome in the role. For me, it wasn't him that was the problem. It was getting rid of David Duchovny and that role. That role was part of the heart of that show. Jason Patrick was great in a lot of those episodes, but the problem I had with him is I never really quite bought him in the lighter or more comedic episodes. David Duchovny was able to strike that balance. He could be extremely funny, and we saw in many other roles that he's done, whether on Zoolander, Californication, Evolution, that he is a terrific comedic talent. I didn't get that from Jason Patrick, but you would get it from freaking Bruce Campbell.
Duh. I think that goes right in the same thing with the BRISCO County analysis. I'm glad you added in. By the way, the fact that you didn't mention Evolution first in the list of David Duchovny things is in itself kind of a crime. But by the way, that being said, you know, we recently had a conversation about wooden performances, and you're going to try to tell me Duchovny as Agent Moldy isn't wooden. His name is Mulder, whatever. You're going to tell me that's not wooden?
There are definitely some episodes where you can tell he just doesn't give a shit.
Okay, your case is rested. Carry on.
And that applies, but I think honestly Duchovny excelled when they did have lighter or more comedic episodes, and I think that some of the biggest fan favorites tend to be those episodes. Now, Bruce Campbell had appeared in the X-Files. He appeared in one episode called Terms of Endearment, where he played a demon, which sounds a lot cooler than the episode was, in my opinion. I thought the episode was kind of wasted his talents, honestly. But Campbell was actually questioned about if what he felt about missing out on the opportunity to star in the X-Files on a continuing basis. And he said, and I quote, "I tried to get involved in the X-Files show, but legally I couldn't even take it if they offered it because I'm not legally available. I had worked on an X-Files episode before, and I think they sort of remembered me from that. It was nice to be involved in that. Even if you don't get it, it's nice to hang out at the party." I'd like to hang out at a party with Bruce Campbell.
Facts.
I think it's a shame, honestly. I think that I would have dug it. I think that him being on that show would have given it a new life. I still think that David Duchovny was that show, but if they were going to replace him, Bruce Campbell was the way to go, as far as I'm concerned.
Here's the downside to that. I think it would have, if this is a thing, over legitimized Bruce Campbell a little bit. Like, if that happens, one of two things happened. He's seen as somebody who's trying to be serious, air quotes, and it kind of hurts his credibility as kind of a jag, awesome B quotes awesome B movie kind of guy, which would have meant he didn't have his cameos in the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies, which were all great, or
all great. Oh, the cameos were all great. Yeah. Okay.
Of course, the cameos were all great. You saw.
I thought you meant like all the films were great. I'm like, I may have.
While we're at it, why don't you go watch The Crystal Skull as your punishment? Okay, no, I didn't mean that. No one deserves that. I'm so sorry.
I feel threatened.
You should. God damn it. No,
this is what online bullying looks like.
Hey, you leave me alone or I'm going to make you watch The Crystal Skull. Oh, shit.
I've gotten death threats that seemed like apple pie compared to that, but nevertheless.
Like I can see that being a thing in Austin Powers. So you can either pay me $1 billion or you can watch Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. The choice is yours. You know,
where the is my debit card? It's my answer.
Okay, well, we clearly know where Demos stands on this particular inflammatory issue. I mean, I have to say inflammatory after that, don't I? I mean, you know, all I'm trying to do is look for a really cheap opportunity to go $100 billion, and you're already reaching for the debit card. I'm just saying.
When the X-Files debuted, it debuted alongside a Bruce Campbell starring show called BRISCO COUNTY Jr. And for those of you that remember the show fondly, or if this is the first time you're even hearing about it, I think it's about time I dropped this special announcement that starting next week, we're going to be covering the entire first and only season of BRISCO COUNTY Jr. Every week, we'll be reviewing another episode of BRISCO COUNTY and looking at the magnificence that was Bruce Campbell in the West. If you guys enjoy our TV reviews, let us know. If you have any other series suggestions, hit us up. We're definitely on it. We would probably want to stray to something a little bit older, something that a lot of people haven't really talked about. Because let's be honest, there are just some shows that have been overcovered. I mean, how many freaking, there are 40,000 channels dedicated to Star Trek. And as much as I love Star Trek, I like Bruce Campbell better. So,
Max. So listen, Demos, I want us to do a retrospective of the cartoon Widget the World Watcher. No? Okay.